Hello everyone, my name is Tasya Meylarisman, and in this session, we're going to focus on grammar in real IT workplace context, specifically on how we compare IT costs professionally. The topic today is comparing IT costs in the workplace using comparative and superlative during budget discussion. In IT environments, professionals are often involved in conversations about costs, budgets, and resource allocation. For example, they may need to compare software tools, cloud services, hardware options, or maintenance expenses. These comparisons are not casual. They directly affect decisions and planning. Instead of focusing on grammar rules or formulas, this lesson shows how grammar is used naturally in real IT communication. Comparatives and superlatives help IT professionals explain decisions, justify expenses, and recommend cost-effective solutions in a clear and professional way. By understanding how comparison work in context, students can participate more confidently in IT meetings, budget planning sessions, and discussion with manager or non-technical stakeholders. Why comparison matter in budget communication? Now, let's look at why comparison language is so important in IT budget communication. In professional IT environments, it's usually not enough to say that something is simply cheap or expensive. Those words are vague and often sound subjective. Instead, IT staff are expected to compare options logically and explain why one choice is better than another. This is where comparative and superlative language becomes essential. Using this type of grammar helps IT professionals explain cost difference clearly, justify budget decisions politely, avoid avoid sound avoid sounding emotional or personal, and support recommendation with clear reasoning. For example, during a budget meeting, an IT staff member may need to explain why which services are preferred over on-premise servers or why renewing a software license is more practical than purchasing new hardware. In situations like this, grammar is not just language accuracy, it becomes a communication tool that supports professional decision making, using comparative to compare IT options. Let's move on to comparative. Comparative are used when two options are being compared. In IT workplaces, this happens very often, especially when teams evaluate cost, efficiency, or value between two solutions. Comparatives help IT professionals explain differences in a clear, objective, and professional way. Let's look at some examples from IT cost discussion. For example, cloud storage is cheaper than on-premise server for small companies. Let's look at some examples from IT cost discussions. For example, cloud storage is cheaper than on-premise servers for small companies. Here the speaker is comparing two options and explaining cost differences. Another example, the software subscription is more expensive than the previous version. Outsourcing IT support is more cost effective than hiring full-time staff in some cases. And also, hardware maintenance costs are higher than expected this quarter. In all of these examples, the speaker is not expressing emotions or personal opinion. They are comparing options professionally and logically, which is exactly what is expected in workplace communication. Using superlative to recommend the best option. Now let's talk about superlative. Superlative are used when choosing one option from many. In IT context, they are often used when professionals make recommendations or summarize budget priorities. In meetings or reports, superlatives help show which option is considered the best, the most important, or the most suitable based on comparison. For example, this tool is the most cost-effective option for our department, or cybersecurity is the most important budget priority this year. And another example, among all alternatives, cloud services are the most flexible solutions. And also, human resources remain the most valuable investment for long-term system management. When using superlative in budget discussion, it's important they sound neutral and professional, especially because money and priorities can be sensitive topics. Next, let's focus on tone. When discussing budgets, IT professional must be careful not to sound direct. critical, or negative. For this reason, comparisons are often softened to maintain professionalism and good teamwork. Instead of strong or emotional language, professionals use expressions such as slightly cheaper than, more, stu- more suitable than, more efficient than, the most practical option, or provides better value than. For example, the solution is likely more expensive, but it provides better long-term value. Or, compared to other tools, this option is more suitable for our current needs. And although the initial cost is higher, this is the most reliable solution. This kind of grammar helps IT professionals communicate respectfully, diplomatically, and professionally, especially when discussing financial decisions. Finally, let's apply what we've learned today. Look at the following situations and think about how an IT professional would compare the option clearly and professionally. For example, cloud storage versus on premise servers, renewing software license versus buying new hardware, outsourcing IT support versus hiring internal staff. Here are some model examples. Cloud storage is cheaper than on-premise servers for startups. Renewing a software license is more cost-effective than replacing hardware. Outsourcing support is more flexible than hiring full-time staff. And finally, cybersecurity is the most critical budget priority for this year. Using comparative and superlative language like this allows IT professionals to explain decisions confidently, support budget planning, and communicate effectively in real workplace discussion. I think that's all for me. Thank you very much and goodbye.